everyone, wanted to give you my quick thoughts on Cinderella 2021. I actually saw it over a week ago. My friend Rachel from Rachel Reviews was in town, and so we watched an early screening of it. And to give you a point of reference, this is not my sort of thing. I wouldn't have chosen to watch this movie independently, but my wife and Rachel are very much into musicals, and so I put in my vote as to what we should watch, and they won because there's two of them. So we went with Cinderella, and it didn't win me over. I did not think it was all that good. There's certainly some scenes that are funny. A few of the musical numbers are pretty good, especially when you have Idina Menzel, or Adele Dazeem, as I like to call her.
Please welcome the wickedly talented one and only Adele Dazeem.
You're going to get some good music in it from time to time here and there. And there's some moments where the couples have chemistry, where a joke lands here and there. But for the most part, for me, this was just a real misfire from beginning to end. Right off the bat, it's one of these musicals where instead of writing new songs for the film or adapting previous songs that might have been in films, they are using pop songs from the last 30 years, just throwing them into Cinderella. In which case, I'm never a big fan of this style of doing things. There's not very many examples where I think it works out all that well. And in particular, when it's all done with that overproduced sound, and you're taking these classic songs from the last 30 years, or some of them aren't all that classic, but taking songs from the last 30 years of varying degrees of classic, but all of them popular, and just running them through this super processed, auto-tuned thing. It sucks all the life out of them, and some of the people can sing better than others, and so you can tell which ones needed a lot of assistance. It's just not my thing. It's not my thing at all. And then from there, they wanted to do a 21st century take on Cinderella. And so since Cinderella's jam-packed with all of these out-of-date gender roles and things like that about the girl waiting for permission from other people to do things and then being rewarded with a husband, that's not a very 21st century message. And so here, of course, Cinderella wants to be a dressmaker and be her own business person and run her own business. And there's all sorts of actual plot lines about the idea of the actual patriarchy of the son of the king becomes the next king, and it just keeps commenting on it. It's like, right. There's a reason that all of Western societies have moved away from actual lineage. The son becomes the king just because he's the son. There's a reason that we all have democracies and things like that. Like, we know that. You don't actually have to make it a plot point to let us know that things that we were doing 400 years ago don't really work anymore. You're not like being clever, like saying something like insightful when you point out that that was a bad system. Everybody agrees that was a bad system. But it's that sort of thing where it's kind of like when people in the 21st century like feel they have to point out that 400 years ago there were some really bad ideas. No, we know they're bad ideas. That's why we moved past them. We don't do that anymore. And it's so in your face with its 21st century girl power messaging that it distracts from the tale. Instead of trying to update the tale to tell the original version, but give much more fleshed out version of the characters that aren't just the stereotypes of past, it has to change all the plot lines to be 21st century progressive, fit in line with the way people think now. And it's just, at a certain point in time, you're just insulting the audience because you think that they don't realize all this stuff, and you have to like tell them things. Beyond that, there's some just moments in it that are just really stupid, lazy humor. Like this moment where, you know, obviously the mice are turned into the people that run the carriage and her assistants and everything like that. And so one of them plays James Corden. And so then as they're turning back, there's this sequence where there's there's shrink back and you still have James Corden's head on a mouse's body. Just cheap humor like that. And so for me, the movie I voted for when beginning of this review, where I said girls won the vote, picked this movie. My pick was He's All That. To be fair to the way things played out, He's All That is a much worse film. Neither one of them were good, though. So I ended up doing a double feature of two movies that were not good. But we started with Cinderella, and it at least had some charming moments while being a movie that I was just cringing at, rolling my eyes at from beginning to end. And then He's All That had no charming moments, and I was rolling my eyes at it and cringing at it the entire time. So not a great double feature, and this was not a very good movie. Let's give it like C-. Not my thing at all. Didn't win me over. Wasted all the good singers, like Adele Dazeem, as I call her. Not a lot of, like, she gets some singing moments, but she's not the focus. She's not the person that gets a bunch of great opportunities to show off her skills, which is wild because you got Elsa. Why would you not put Elsa on display constantly in her movie if you got Elsa? No, she gets her moments. They're the best songs, of course, and that's it. So anyway, I don't need to overstate this one. Not my thing. Didn't like it. Tell me what you thought down below. Keep talking movies too much.